What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Elements Workshop, where we get a little elemental. We're doing a little bit of an epoxy pour today, creating a walnut serving tray. I love epoxy work. I love it. I know it's crazy to think about doing and think that it's a bunch of stuff that you gotta learn. Albeit there's a lot of things that you do need to know about it. But it's really not that bad. So if you're ever interested in wanting to learn some epoxy work, please feel free to contact us or visit us online. We do workshops and consults and all that kind of stuff. So we got the walnut board all clamped up, ready to go. A little bit of Chillpoxy pigments, Spring Break Regrets, nice blue, black diamond pigments. We're either gonna go with Green Envy, Jungle Green, or the Iridescent Green. So we're looking for a bluish green kind of mix. Chillpoxy, black diamond, fantastic. And then we have EcoPoxy, simple 1-to-1 mix. Got our Easy Mix graduated containers, really easy to use, and they're pretty accurate. So I have my resin warming up in some hot water to get that flow going a little bit. Let's do it. While we wait for the first round of epoxy to dry and cure, we're going to go ahead and start working on the base for this piece. I had a little bit of dimensional cherry left over from a few cutting boards that I did not too long ago, and decided to make a little 3/4 inch platform for it to rise up on and create that bit of floating effect. So if you really want to be a woodworker, this is basically what you're going to be doing. Sanding, and more sanding. Oh, and did I mention sanding? Yes, sanding. But after all that sanding, you get to do one of the best parts of working with some of these nice hardwoods. You get to finish it. You get to see something truly come alive before your eyes. Just finishing up the insides here first. Work on the edges so that if you get any overspray or overlap on your top or bottom edge, you can easily blend that into everything else. Osmo top oil here. I know it's a food safe finish, but I'm using it on the base because I really like how it makes that grain pop. This cherry is just beautiful. It's got gorgeous grains in it. So now that our first layer of epoxy has been poured and cured with all of our color, I'm just prepping the serving tray here to pour a final flood coat over top of the color, really make that color pop. I'm just using a little bit of hot glue here from the dollar store. Keeping it simple. You know, it's just a nice way to build a cheap barrier. So here you can see we started pouring our clear flood coat. You see the hot glue and the tuck tape. They're acting as the barriers for the epoxy. Epoxy is relatively self-leveling, so as long as you have a flat surface and it's level, the epoxy will kind of find its ways to the low spot. And then obviously you got to hit it with the torch. Sometimes you got to spread it out a little bit. I tried to get a really good mix here and tried to nail the amount that I needed, and I think I did a pretty good job. Now on the top here, I actually mixed in a little bit of that iridescent green by Black Diamond Pigments and the Spring Break Regret Blue from Chillpoxy into the the clear coat pour. You can kind of see that right there. Now I do this to kind of give it a little bit of extra detail. You know, it may be minute, but when you angle the board in a specific way, or if you have it down on your table and you have your kitchen table light hanging over top of you, and you walk by it, you might catch a couple cool different effects, and it kind of gives it that 3D layered effect as well. Epoxy is really incredible stuff to work with, and you know, even after working with it for, you know, the better part of 4 years, I'm still learning so much. It can be really temperamental sometimes, but again, it's a lot of trial and error. I'm not gonna lie, I have wasted quite a bit of money, but it's never a waste because I was always learning from my mistakes. And now I feel much more confident when I'm pouring stuff like this, and even some of those larger pours that I'm really excited to start doing. We're going to be using Chillpoxy by Polymere Technologies. They have some really thick casting resins, I think almost upwards of 4 inches, which is just insane, and bubble free. I think it's upwards of 15 to 20 days cure time, but definitely worth it. And if you don't have to be sitting there and hovering over the epoxy while it slowly cures to pop bubbles, I mean, you can be doing so many other things with your time. Being a small business, you know, time is money, so if I'm capable of doing multiple things at a single time, then I become much more efficient and much more productive, and hopefully still provide a really high quality product for all of our customers to enjoy for many, many years to come. Slowly but surely this thing's starting to come alive. It's amazing what epoxy does to those wood grains. My goodness, that figure just pops. You can kind of see that blue and green in that top clear layer there. Again, it's all about the finer little details, right? Oh look, surprise surprise, more sanding. Sanding is actually incredibly important here, guys. You got to make sure that you're methodical about it. Just take your time, make sure you don't skip any grit layers. I was starting with an 80 grit here that helped kind of take any of the router marks out from when we planed it, and slowly worked my way up. 80, 120, 150 to 180. I tried not to go too much higher than a 180 for these kinds of serving trays when I'm using Osmo top oil. It is a wood wax oil finish, so you don't want to go too high of a grit because then it starts closing the pores on you. So I ended at a 120 grit here quickly because I wanted to cut out a bit of a shape in this board. Just have fun with it, you know, take your time. If you don't like something, change it, you know. You might just surprise yourself. You know, even something as simple as making a few waved cuts on the edges, you know, it really changes the look of the board. I'm just bringing out my rigid spindle sander. I love this thing. This is probably one of the most used pieces of equipment in the shop right now. This spindle sander is just incredible. I like to add that extra top piece just to make sure that the sanding paper on the drum doesn't slip at all. Otherwise you get a little bit of tear out. Just a quick adjustment there. As you can see, it's as soon as you start putting a little bit of pressure on there, sometimes the sandpaper actually slips on the drum itself. I've used this so much that I've probably worn the drums down a little bit. Probably could use some new ones. So Rigid, if you guys are watching, I would really appreciate it. Again, just try to be methodical with everything. Don't rush yourself. This is so nice for any kind of contours or anything like that. Again, here I just making some changes on the fly. I didn't really like how the straight edges looked on the very ends there, so I decided to add a little bit of character to them. You know, if you just feel the rhythm and you feel the flow, you never know what you can come up with. That's what I love so much about woodworking. It's to really make it your own. And I'm sure a customer is actually going to love this, so I'm pretty excited to get that sent out. And of course, back to sanding now. This is where we start to go up to our 180 grit. Again, don't skip grits. Take your time, be methodical with it. You want to make sure that it's a nice, even, smooth surface, and you get all those scratch marks out. Make sure you work all your edges, break all your edges. You don't want any sharp edges. And then once you're done sanding, that best part comes back. You get to finish. And here we got the bottom. So we're going to finish that with our Osmo top oil. Just actually rub it down first with some rubbing alcohol. Give it a quick sign, because an artist is all you got to sign his work or her work. And now we can start putting on that first layer of Osmo top oil. Oh, just makes it look so good. And here you can see the underside with the base attached. Again, really simple. We like to keep things simple here, but just looks great. From a single board into a beautiful Epoxy River. And here you have it, folks. They recommend Osmo as your finishing product. They really are incredible. Really simple to use, and it's a food safe finish. With this stuff, less is more. Just slowly work everything in, and it's almost dry to the touch as soon as you wipe it down. But incredible product, great build, lots of fun, and we're excited to get this to our customer. Thank you guys so much for following along and watching as we create this awesome walnut serving tray for a customer of ours. Make sure you check us out, elementscanadaco.com, Elements Canada Co on Instagram and Facebook. We are more than willing to take a custom order and put together something that you'll get to enjoy for years to come. Thanks guys, and have a great day. Hey, my name is Jake. I'm the owner of Elements Canada Co, and I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by our YouTube channel where we get a little bit elemental. If you click over here, you'll be able to see the series that we've put together for our 36-foot school bus conversion into a tiny home that we're doing for a customer. And if you click down below or just over here, you'll be able to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to check us out. elementscanadaco.com. We do have some merch available. Feel free to give us a shout and we'll be able to get a quote out to you. And thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for enjoying our content. We got lots more coming up, so stay tuned. Please subscribe and find us on Instagram, Facebook, Elements Canada Co, or online at elementscanadaco.com. All the best, and thank you, thank you, thank you.